In Search of My Friend, Tom. In December 1990, South America was full into its summer weather pattern. Because it is geographically located south of the equator, our seasons are opposite of North America. During a first young adult holiday trip alone, I traveled to the small city of Baños, Ecuador. During this adventure, I met a group of international travelers, including someone who would become a quick friend and represent the excitement I longed for through international travel and relations. My beloved American friend, named Tom, was from Syracuse, New York. Let me introduce myself. I am a youthful, middle-aged woman born and raised in Trujillo, Peru. I am blessed with good health and a spirit of adventure. I enjoy learning about other cultures, in particular the United States and Canada, due to my lifelong desire to master the English language. After completing college in Trujillo, I received a student visa in order to study literature and classics and an advanced degree from the University of Georgia at Athens. 30 years ago, I traveled on my first adventure abroad to a neighboring country north of Peru, Ecuador. That majestic and historical land first drew my attention because it was considered far enough away to represent escape. Since then, it has come to represent something much deeper in meaning to my spirit of travel and adventure. Today, I hope to write the final chapters of a story to which others may contribute. One night, my story begins. While in Baños, Ecuador, I met a very social, international group of people who were traveling from Costa Rica. This unique group included a young German couple, a young British gentleman, a woman from Ecuador who was a nurse by profession, and a young, handsome American named Tom. His name was Tom, or Thomas. Tom was from Syracuse, New York, in the United States. He was the youngest in his Italian-American family. I recall Tom was most amazed by the majesty of Ecuador's mountains and forests. Tom and I met at a youth hostel in Baños. We promised that we would see each other again on his way back to Peru. Unfortunately, in the same period of 1990, cholera arrived in South America and spread quickly. I imagine the circumstances were such that further travel south from Ecuador was no longer an option. Tom and I have never reconnected. It is my hope to find Tom through this message and through the help of friends, strangers, and the internet. Before you conclude that this is only a middle-aged woman seeking to find a long-lost love, there is more to the story of how this encounter with international friends and sharing the language I love, English, impacted my life and has once again resurfaced. 8 months after my initial travel to Ecuador, I accepted an invitation from a Peruvian friend to return. Suddenly, the vivid memories moved my emotions, and I was sure that I could identify details from my earlier trip which would help me reconnect with my friend Tom. During my return trip, I went to the Baños Youth Hostel and inquired about the registration records from the period 8 months prior. The owner of the hotel was kind enough to assist and showed me the registration records. Unfortunately, my native Spanish language made it difficult to recognize Anglo-American names, or even Italian family surnames like Tom's might have been. Holding on to hope, and using only a photograph of our international travel group from 8 months prior, the following day, in the city of Quito, I showed the picture to a doctor I found walking as if he were also a tourist in the area. This chance encounter led to his recognition of the nurse in our group. He was then able to provide me information about her. As it happened, she was working as a nurse in a nearby hospital. I took the local bus, headed there, and found her at the entrance of the hospital. We recognized each other immediately and expressed our mutual excitement to see each other. She was so kind in our reuniting. She provided her personal address and insisted that I come to visit that night. I can remember even now the glamorous atmosphere of her living room, with wooden sculptures throughout and paintings covering the walls. Her home was romantic in its atmosphere. The time together was touching and special in so many ways. We had time to visit, and recalled memories from the lovely days in Baños. I showed her the group picture we had taken. At that point, she offered an exchange of photographs which she believed would help me in my search for Tom. Yes, indeed, it was my beloved friend Tom, sitting in a chair at the hostel in Baños, Ecuador. Since that time, I treasure this photograph as a miraculous event, as a sort of incredible lost and found. These emotions, for me, seem similar to the movie The Ring by Gabrielle Steele. Tom is obviously not aware that I am searching for him. My interest is simply to say hello and share conversation about family and events since our chance encounter 30 years ago. Tom's picture is included with this message. He should now be in his 60s. He has big green eyes and a spontaneous smile. I hope someone is able to help connect the dots and reunite two friends from 30 years ago.